Hey, what's up? This is your girl Diamond. So I wanted to get on here and let every and chat about, Father's Day stuff. Chat about father figures. It is Sunday, 7:44 in Central Time. Hey, Android, how are you? Hmm. I got some new kind of water. It's the Smart Water with dandelion and lemon extract. Interesting. It's not nasty, but it tastes real earthy. It tastes real earthy. Hey, your birthday is on the way in a couple of hours, right? Blessed and busy. I know that's right. I wasn't that busy today. I'm still hungover from the other night. I did whatever was in that liquor. It was kind of getting me together. Maybe because I was mixing, and getting too old to be mixing. I was drunk. Oh, yes. I got a million damn scars on my arm from the other night. Bumping into shit. Look, all kinds of scratches. I drank everything everybody gave me. Word. So I wanted to talk about like Father's Day, father figures, stuff like that. Relationships with your father or father like people in your life. Oh. Do-do-do. Do you know where you're going to? I don't remember the melody. Do. I don't remember the melody right there. Do you know? I just know that part. Where you going to? Mm. How has everybody's weekend, Juneteenth and Father's Day and all that all in one weekend? And then your birthday, per usual. Your birthday is always for the on the Father's Day tease. How is everybody this weekend? This weekend has been pretty good. I went out unplanned. I didn't know I was going out, but um I had y'all know that red ruffle coat that I had on the other day in one of the videos. I had to take that back to its owner, and we've been kind of dodging each other because not dodging, but like our schedules haven't really matched up. So finally, I wasn't doing nothing, and they told me that they were going to be at Hamburger Mary's. So I was like, "Oh, I'll just bring your coat." And I was like, "Oh, if I'm going down to the neighborhood, I need to fucking I might as well stay and get my life." Woke up just in time. Work. Hey, Amara, how are you? Um, yes, I went down there, and then Deja said she was gonna come, so we went down and sipped some drinks. I ate some um quesadillas, some quesadillas, and yeah, it was pretty fun. It was relaxing. I hadn't been out in a while because of COVID, so It was a really laid back weekend full of, you know, not staying in the house. I spent my Juneteenth on the beach with my cakes out. Come on. That sounds like some tea to be doing. That sounds like what I should have been doing. I'm afraid because of you. I never stray too far from the sidewalk. Because of you, I learned to play on the safe side so I don't get hurt. Because of you. That song has been stuck in my head since Friday. It sounds like it was love. I'm a Pisces, so I'm a water baby. I love water. I love particularly ocean water. You know, the sweet water of the lakes, and rivers that Oshun, you know, Oshun's playground, but it's something about that, you know. Yeah, salty, deep, strong, powerful water that does something to my spirit. I love an ocean beach, ocean water. Mhm. Hey, Halo, how are y'all? Mhm. We're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. The Queen at the Barcode performed because of you. Too close to the show. Close the show. Yeah, it's been stuck in my head since that. And didn't know there was a Reba McEntire version, so I've been listening to that because I didn't know. I love me some Reba McEntire. um, so I didn't know that they had done a version together. I only had heard the Kelly Clarkson version, and I'm like, damn, I'm late on this because that came out in '09. Mine was kind of scared. I got dressed twice for an event and then were whack and I stay. Oh, baby, if I go to an event, I'm turning up. I don't care what's happening. If I could get dressed and go, I'm gonna be by myself. I'm doing something to turn up. Who is the beauties on your shirt? It's so cute. I got this at I don't think this is anybody. I got this at one of them cheap city trends rainbow, like I think it might have even been rainbow in Indianapolis when I visited in December. And it was, just a regular cute little colorful shirt that I wanted to wear because I didn't know how long I was gonna stay. So I didn't pack enough clothes, so I had to go buy, little doodads and whatnots to turn in. So this is one of the little doodads and whatnots. It's nobody face on it. Well, nobody I know. This look like Lauren Hill. Don't that look like Lauren Hill? This one look like Nicki Minaj. I don't know what the other ones look like, but that one look like Lauren Hill. And we don't have a neighborhood nowhere near me. The events were like a table event and dance class advertised as a party. Oh, mm-mm. Do, do, do. I'm going back someday, come what may, to Blue Bayou, where the folks are fun and the world is mine on Blue Bayou. What's the words? Where the fishing boats with their sails afloat and oh, we'll see all the words. In this village sunrise and happy eyes, how happy do you be? I think that's it. So we're dragging dads tonight. No, we're not dragging dads. If you want to hear me drag my dad, you can listen to the very opening episode of Marsha's Play. It is our very first episode ever. It's our episode number 1. It's called Daddy's Lessons. And yes, you can listen to that episode I talk about, but this is actually I was going to talk about my stepdad because I wanted to keep it positive, and that was the most positive person, male person in my life. Oh. First time in the chat, and I've been watching your videos since Cat Black had mentioned your channel. Thank you for coming over. I love Cat. Thank you for coming over, darling. Make sure you thumbs up. Yes. Ah, doo-doo-doo. Applejack, Applejack, and my banjo ring. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song for me, and I'll sing. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song and let your banjo ring. I'm trying to wait. Do 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 do. Don't walk away, boy. I'll be right there for you. I don't know the word. Oh, I won't hurt you. Won't hurt you. Don't walk away, boy. Don't walk away. What are your fondest Father's Day memories? Do y'all have any good father, and not just Father's Day like actual father, but maybe like your um father figure, just people, any kind of father figure in your life? Has been your fondest memories thus? Are you a father? Do you have children? Have you knocked somebody up? Or have you, you know, do 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 do. That is good. I love every time you sing thank you. I can't think of not one. Oh, that sucks. A tisket, a tasket, a brown and yellow basket on the way into my mommy. Yes, on the way I lost it. I dropped it, I dropped it. Yes, on the way I dropped it. And if I cannot bring it back, I don't know what I'll do. I think that's the worst. I don't be knowing lyrics. I be knowing melody, but lyrics, they go over my head. I know the how to give you the notes, but I don't know the words. Chanson, Plaplion. And we were very young, like butterflies, like hot butterflies. Chanson, Plaplion. It has just begun. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh. Do 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 do. Da, 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 da. I remember how it used to be. You never were this nice. You said for me, care for me. Talking, never change. The more you talk, the more things sound the same. What makes you think you can just walk back into my life? Out of good time. Oh, Give a woman a little respect. They won't be hearing her say no way. Now it's time for the breakdown. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never get it. Woo, 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 woo. You say. Okay. All right. So it's just gonna be us. So it's gonna be so I'm going to talk about my stepdad. So my stepdad is like the only person that my mother ever dated that I actually like had emotional connections to. Like my mom was with my little brother's father for like 7 years, and I never had any emotional connection to him. I don't have any good memories. I don't have anything. Even he was super abusive, but even like on non-abusive times, I don't remember him any kind of positivity with him at all. I don't remember none of that shit. So it was my stepdad. My stepdad was Robert Riley. He is my youngest brother's father, and he just was a different type of dude. Like if you meet him, he is like I really think he should have been a comedian in his as a career because he's one of them people that they like to when they're like an extrovert. So when they are in the midst of a crowd, they like to tell jokes, they like to tell funny stories, and they're funny. It's not like, some people be like telling funny stories and it don't be funny, it just be like corny. No, he's a great storyteller. He's just but it's usually comical and he is acting it out. And that's just kind of how his personality is. And I just have fond memories. There's some crazy moments, but most of my memories of him were really, really fond. Him and my mother, he was younger than my mother. Mother was born in 64 and he was born in 69. So he was like 5 years younger than my mom. So when she met him, he was in his, oh God, I don't know. Like 20s, like 1920, and she was like 24, 23, 24, somewhere around there. Hey Fatima. Um Somewhere around there. And he ended up moving us to Boston. Like she ended up moving because she was so in love with him and he had moved to Boston. She ended up moving us to Boston and it was just a whole game changer. Boston was so different from Indiana. Um, and I was too young to understand and know the politics around Boston because Boston right now is one of the most racist places. I know when we talk about racism, we really think Southern. We think like Mississippi, Texas, Alabama, and it's not saying that they're not racist, but um, I feel like Massachusetts is one of those most like liberally racist. Not even that, just conservative in the sense of just not in the South. The first time like I had clients call me the N word was in Boston when I was an escort. It just was crazy. But when I was younger, I didn't have the politics around race. I didn't, know too much, pay attention to too much of what was going on outside of kid shit. You feel what I'm saying? So at this time, my mama was staying so she could have a place to stay. She was, staying in a battered women's shelter, even though she wasn't a battered woman. But she was staying in a battered women's shelter. That's the only place that let you stay with them with kids. Um, and we were we were just coming up trying to start a new life in Boston outside of where we had been living, Indianapolis, for most of my younger life. My mother was running from a fucking charge. She had got my mother had hustled up on some credit cards, and she had a Christmas. She had a Christmas kind of, spending spree on some cards and got caught. And even though we had an amazing Christmas, a couple of months later she got caught and got a fraud charge, credit card fraud charge, and got on probation for a long period of time. But in that probationary period, she violated her probation and she moved to Boston. And so not only was she running from the laws, we were kind of, just trying to hustle our way into just a new life in Boston. And so my stepdad was a part of that journey because his people was in Boston. His mama, his brothers, um, was his sister there? I think no, I think his sister was still back in Indianapolis. But we um we finally got an apartment, right? But before we got an apartment, so I'm gonna be spilling. This is not. I'm gonna tell you all the tea about. I already told y'all in the This is the dude we played. What was that episode? I don't know what episode was that. I think the last one, 18, when the dude who gave my mom the STD. That's who I'm talking about. While she was pregnant. Love Beneath. The last one, I think it's 18. Yeah, I think isn't that what it's called? That one. Anyway. So she had got oh, let me cut. We had went to we had got kicked out of the shelter because my mama had to beat up this other mama because she let her son smack me. She let her son like the mama held me and let her son smack me in my face. Baby, I screamed my brains out and told my mother what she did, and my mama beat the shit out of that lady. She came down there and beat, and we lived in a shelter, but it was like a convent turned shelter. So y'all remember in Sister Act 2 where they were living in the convent and they had those little rooms and hallway. It was exactly like Sister Act 2. We had our own room. She had her own room. It was like a nunnery. Like nuns was working there. It was a nun. That's what it was. A Catholic convent. And we lived in there exactly like Sister Act 2, 1 and 2. Exactly like that. Looked like that. All little rooms with no decorations. Everything. It was horrible. But my mama got to beating that chick ass and they kicked us out. But my stepdad came through because he had a homeboy who was who let us stay with him for a little bit of time. So remember I told y'all what happened in that story, but this dude clearly was gay, 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 gay again. So remember, I'm young, so I'm not in the queer life. So I'm not clocking no. I don't know how to clock gayness as instinctively as I can now. And so we come over to this boy house. He got on short shorts, not short that's like obviously, girl, what you doing? Like very basketball shorts, but short, like the old school 80s ones, shorts. Um, his name was Frank, Larry. His name, no, was it Frank? No, it was Larry. His name was Larry. Were you glad to get out of there even if it was kicked out? It actually wasn't a bad. It wasn't bad at all. It was the people, the other residents who were annoying, not the nuns. They were nice. Um, yeah, they were pretty nice to me. I didn't have no issues with them. Um, but we go into this dude's house and he has on shorts and he clearly is gay. Like he's clearly, but I'm not why would we come here? Like why would I feel like my mama was clocking, but this is years later. I didn't know in the moment. I was young. I was like 10. So I didn't really know what was going on. We just needed a place to stay. But my years later tells me in her own mind, she was like, "Where how do you know this gay boy?" But what she didn't know, and she would come to learn later, is that she had a whole DL man, a whole download trade. And so we go to we finally get a place. We finally get an apartment. We stay with him for probably like a week, and then we get an apartment in Brockton, Massachusetts, which is like a little. It's like it's not technically Boston, but it's like a little suburb of Boston, but it's like a hood suburb. So we in Brockton, we get the apartment, and our whole life just turns into us like living very happy, like a family, making sure we got food, making sure we paying the bills, just everybody doing something contribute. I had a paper route so I could make some kind of money. Um I would go and cut people's yards. All the little boy stuff that you could think about doing. Rake people. I would rake people yards for $10. I would cut people yard for $15. Um Yeah, it was just something I would do to make money and to help my mama out with food. My mama didn't really take much of my money, but if she needed it, she would. But most of the time, she wouldn't. Um, my stepdad was working, well, hustling, and not like drugs or nothing, but just he was doing something to make some kind of money. But it was at the time, I don't think it was drugs yet. That would come later. Um, but we knew the schedules for the pantries, like pantries that was giving out food, like churches or different pantries that was giving out food. We knew the schedules because in Boston, I don't know how it is now, but in Boston, like each church had a different day. Birthday is very challenging for me because I'm reminding me of all my daddy issues. Mm. So So each pantry or church would have various days that they would open up their pantry to the public. So this church would be Thursday, this church would be Tuesday, this church would be Wednesday, this church would be Friday, this church would be Saturday, Sunday, and so on and so on. So we knew the schedule for each church. So every week we would go to each church to get whatever kind of food they were offering. And because we were poor, this is how a poor family was living. This is how a poor family was living. Well, hopefully this will take your mind off of it. Just chatting. This is how we were living, but we were surviving and making it work. Like we weren't sad. Like we had food in our pantry, tons of food, like that was donated to us from us going to the pantries of the different churches. I don't see churches doing this no more. Not in this. Well, they might do. I don't really fuck with churches like that, but I don't see them doing it like that, like this anymore. And so it just was. We were able to go get some food, and so our refrigerator was stacked. My mom had bought me a Nintendo for Christmas while we were at the convent, but I only had a few games that came with the Nintendo. It was Metroid and of course Super Mario Brothers. And Metroid, Super Mario Brothers, and what else did I have? Um I might have just had those two at the time. And so I loved Mario and I loved Metroid. I love Mother Samus or Samson. What's his name? Samus or Samson? I can't remember. But Loved it. And so my stepdad, his name is Robert, Rob, and my stepdad would go to this store called Shaw's. I don't know if I've never seen them in the South, but they're usually on the East Coast, and they're called Shaw's, SHAW. And he would go to Shaw's and get a cart and fill the whole cart up with stolen video games and push the cart out the store and leave the whatever it was, these little things that used to go over him that he could peel them out of it, and he would leave them like under under one of the the figure wherever the display was. He'll leave it under the display. He'll just leave it and put all the stuff in the cart, and then just walk out of the store. And so he would come home, and you would have thought it was Christmas, baby. He had all these video games in this basket, and I was like, "Oh my god, so many games!" And then he stole a Sega Genesis system. My stepdad was a thug. He stole shit all the time. He would always do something that would be like, yes. Um, Metroid is having a new game come out this year. Work on what system? Switch on Switch. Um, so it just was so like fun with him because he was such a kid. He played the games and we played the games, and it was just so fun with him because it's almost like he was like a kid like us, but a grown man, and but kind of not because if you remember, so like I said, he was 5 years younger than my mom. So my mom is only 17 years older than me. So take that down. He was probably older than me. So he could easily he's not far from what me and the distance between, you see what I'm saying? So it was almost like he was one of the, not one of the, I can't really explain it, but you see what I'm saying? He wasn't that far from us in age. If you think about it, he was like 11 years older than us. So he could easily, under any other normal circumstances, could have been a normal age sibling for me. It was announced I wanted to get that Zelda, but I haven't been playing shit lately. I really haven't been playing nothing. I have been playing Elder Scrolls because I love Elder Scrolls, but and they just came out with a new DLC, Blackwood, I think. And so I might play that tonight. Yeah, anyway. So he just would do all kinds of fun shit. Yeah, I'm 9 and 12 years older than my siblings. Yeah, that's kind of normal. So he would have been in that age range with me. And so he always would just do something fire. We had a dog named Storm. We called him Storm because his body, it was brindle, the dog color brindle, but it looked like a storm. It looked like lightning coming through like the sky because he was like a gray brindle. And so it looked like his skin was lightning. And we just at this to me, this was a time in my life that was like very joyous. It's just something that I remember about this time of my life, that it was before any trauma, like any any life trauma that I could experience. I had not experienced any trauma yet. This was around that time where I just was, feeling BTW. BTW. What's that? BOTW. What's that? Two look sickening. What is BOTW? I still go to the food pantry. Work. Come on, food pantries. I don't know where any. Not that I will go now because I don't need it. Brindle. Yeah, in dog colors, they usually call it brindle. It's that kind of. not tiger stripe, but that really brownish stripy color. Um, if I know a lot of dog breeders, so yeah, it's not necessarily striped, but it could be. This is Brindle. That's Brindle. Yeah. Feed more out food now to the pantry. Give out food now to the pantry. Word. Come on, feed more. Um, so he started. What was something that? Okay, so I remember he had stole before he stole the Sega Genesis. I had the Nintendo, and we had tons of games. But there was a guy in my neighborhood who was a little bit older than me. So if I was like 10, he was like probably like 14. Breath of the Wild 2, the Zelda game on Switch. Yeah, so I didn't ever get to play that. It was so exciting. I didn't ever get to play the first one. But damn, they coming out with a 2. Oh, yeah. I love Zelda. Come on. Hey, Brandon. Um, so he was like 14 because we had a paper route and our the person who paid us based on how many papers we delivered. We would get like a certain amount of money, like either 5 cents or a dime. I can't remember, either a nickel or a dime for every paper that we delivered. And so we would have to go to where he was. He would get, and we would have to take our bikes to where his truck was. We put our papers from where his truck was, and we go and go house, 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 deliver, 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 and and then come back and get more until we done. Like when we get tired, when we're done, what houses that we supply, blah blah blah. Each one, and he would count each bag that we would do, and we would get is it either a dime or a nickel for every single paper we did. And so he would try to the 14-year-old would try to outpaper me. And because he was bigger and taller, he could ride his bike faster. He just was faster than me. And so it was kind of annoying. But there was like this weird, blah, 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 excuse me, weird rivalry between us because he was the only other light skinned boy on the block. And even though I didn't like girls, he tried to make it he tried to make a competition with us if the girls liked me, because I was 10, so there wasn't any kind of I wouldn't think about no girls. But the girls who were older were kind of liking me too. Like if they were 12, if they liked me, they would invite me to the house, and I would just be trying to kick you with the girls. I wouldn't be trying to have or nothing. But the boys, if they were trying to have the girls, they would kind of use that as a way to try to talk shit about me as if I was like a threat to them. Boy, I am over here trying to be fish about it. I was not thinking about them hoes, but of course, I wasn't openly talking about being queer at 10. I wasn't. Um, so I remember this one time he would we were over this girl named April's house. I ended up fighting April, but it was before that. We was at this girl named April house, and he had came once he heard that I was over April's house, he came over there with his Sega Genesis. I think this like Eternal Champions had came out. Um was it Eternal Champions? No, Mortal Kombat came out. That came out in like 94. So I think it was like either Eternal Champions or I don't know. Something new had came out on Sega Genesis. And he brought it over because I had brought my Nintendo over. And he he just started to fag me down and call me all kinds of gays and call me all kinds of why you got this faggot over here, all this kind of stuff. And it just was making me fire hot. But I know he was bigger than me. He's 14 and I was 10. So I couldn't fight him. I couldn't beat him. I tried, trust that. But I couldn't beat him. And he wouldn't just full on fight me because I was so little. But when I tried to fight him, he would be throwing me over here. He'll try to throw me over there and toss me. He was just way stronger than me. And so, but he would embarrass the fuck out of me. Um, he would call me gay, call me all kinds of shit that would wear me out. Just not wear me out like I hadn't been called it before, but just I'm just trying to play my fucking video games. Why are you fucking fagging me down? Why are you giving me all of this? Why are you wearing me out? So that was going on with him. Then there was this dude named Shiz. Shiz. Yeah. Shizz. Shiz. I actually had a little crush on Shiz, but Shiz was a homophobe. And he would fag me down, wear me out. He would never try to fight me or nothing. He just would call me all kinds of gay boys. Look at this sugar, gay blade. Look at this sugar in the tank ass nigga. Like if I'm just walking down the street, honey, if I see his ass coming, I know he's about to give me some kind of angel pound cake. Look at pound cake. Look at anything gay. Look at cupcake. Some kind of thing that he was gonna call me. I knew it, so I would try to avoid, go around different blocks to make sure I don't see these motherfuckers. Sometimes I couldn't avoid it. So this one time he sees me walking down the street and I'm coming and I have something. It's not a balloon. That was years later. It's I have something in my hand. I have something that he doesn't take it, but he forces me to give it to him when I didn't want to give it to him. And let's say some kind of like a book or something. I can't remember what it was. It was something that he wanted to see, and I didn't want to give it to him because I thought he was going to steal it. But he punched me in my face. Not punch me, but smushed me in my face and snatched the book. Once he seen he wasn't interested in what the book was about, he gave me the book back. But you're still humiliating me. You're a big ass teenager humiliating me in front of other neighborhood people, neighborhood boys. So I'm annoyed. I can't fight you back, even if I try. You way bigger than me, and I can't do anything. And so that was happening. When I'm giving y'all all this story because I'm about to tell y'all what my stepdad did. So so I got a neighbor. This dude, he lives on Spring Street. This light skinned boy with these funny color eyes doing his shit. I got Shiz. He lives on my street with these other teenage boys doing his shit. Then when I go to school, I was in fourth grade. Yeah, I was in fourth grade. So I'm in fourth grade, and I'm like, I'm from Indiana. So here in Boston, I sound country to them. I sound country. I sound, you know, when I say, instead of saying 10, I say 10, 10, 11, 12. I'm country. And so to me, because I got family from Mississippi, they country. So they not as country as I'm not as country as that. So how you saying I'm country? I didn't get the concept of like accent because I'm young. And what we call country in the Midwest is shit that we hear like down in the South. But if you go on the East Coast, we country too. So I had to get that kind of weird shit. And so when I would go to class, I had a teacher. If I would call if I would say something like my name or something or say like 10, usually it's 10, the teacher would mimic or mock what I say, how I say it. So if I say the answer is 10, the teacher would say 10. And so it would make all the students laugh. So I turned into this person where I didn't want to answer questions, even though I'm a precocious, smart child that wants to answer and raise my hand and answer the question because he was like kind of teasing me and making the students laugh at me, my own teacher. I think this is my very first male teacher. So idiot, fucking idiot. Um, Go figure. Um, he I would stop answering questions. I would just sit there and let other people give their stupid ass answers. And so I have all of this bullying going on. The teacher, the neighborhood dudes, blah, 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 blah. So this one day, I don't know what was going on. I know my mother was getting on my fucking nerves. My mother is, my mother is a sweet, um, affectionate mother, but sometimes she also can be oblivious to shit. If she's focused on her own shit, honey, she can be oblivious to what's going on with you. So I think something was going on, and I just was having a either she was on my tail about washing some dishes or on my tail about leaving some plates in the room. Yeah, it was plates. This shit causes roaches. You don't leave no fucking plate in the room. You take it in the sink, rinse it out, and put it in the dishwasher or wash the plate. That's what you need to do. Just nagging and bickering. And this is one of them days that everybody had been bothering me. So I go to school and the same thing happened with the teacher. Some weird shit happened with the teacher. And when I come home, I'm walking home. And when I get in the house, I go in my room and I'm just overwhelmed with emotion. Because I have an issue with my teacher. I have an issue with my teacher. And I tell the teacher, I say something smart back to the teacher. Something, and he brings me in the hallway and is just real aggressive with me. Real aggressive. I come home and sends me home. So as I'm walking home, the shiz dudes see me and is just harassing me. So I go into when I get into the apartment, I get into my room. My stepdad is calling me, but I'm so overwhelmed with what's happening, just the stress of the day that I don't want to talk to anybody. And so I'm in the room and he comes in there and he says, yeah, he was white, of course. Those Bostonites can be very racist. Bostonians, yes, they can be very, very racist. Y'all remember that dude that killed his wife and blamed it on that black man? And they all believed it. And he was about to go to jail until they proved that it wasn't. It was it to his brother snitched on him. To the dude who really killed his wife, his brother snitched on him. Y'all remember that case? Anyway, that was in Boston. That was in Massachusetts. Anyway, but my stepdad followed me in the room because he's calling me and I'm ignoring him. And he comes in the room and opens the door. He comes in the room, and when he comes in the room, he's like, "Dang, did you hear me talking to you?" He's not like bitching at me, but I'm just so overwhelmed that I just start crying. Like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Oh my God. And I just start crying, 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 crying. And my stepdad is like, "What's wrong with you?" Nothing, nothing. Just get out of my room. And he was like, "No, tell me what's wrong with you. What happened?" And I just go down this list of everything that's happening. Baby, what did I do that for? One thing, you talk to my stepdad. My stepdad, even to this day, my stepdad love him some Diamond. He love him some Diamond. Anything I ask my stepdad for, he's gonna do it. He gonna be there. He's just a whole different. It's just he's always been very protective. And so when I was telling him what was going on, he was like, "Oh no, fuck this shit." He goes to the school, he takes me to the school, and he takes me to my teacher's teacher's room, teacher's the house, my teacher's room, and I tell him what happened. And he asked the teacher to come out and talk to him. And so when we're in the hallway, it's just a teacher, me, and a dude. And he asked he asked the teacher, what was the like what were you reprimanding him for? And the teacher was like, "Oh, he was being unruly." I was like, "I was not being unruly. I answered the question, and he was making fun of my voice, and he made everybody laugh at me." And I told him I think I called him an asshole. I think I called him an asshole. And I told him that I called him asshole. And Robert was like, my stepdad was like, "So why are you teasing a 10-year-old boy about his voice?" And the teacher was like, "Oh, that's just how kids are." He was like, "No, you're the teacher. Like it's different if a kid was bullying my son. It'd be different if a kid was doing it. But what you're telling me is that you are initiating the bullying of a child, of a 10-year-old child. How you think that make this 10-year-old child feel?" And the teacher started trying to explain. Baby, my stepdad said, boom, and took and pushed the white boy up against the wall and was choking his ass out and punching him. Boom. He was like, so if I made you feel bullied, boom. What you think? Well, how this feel? How you think being bullied feel? Boom. How you think being bullied feel, white boy? And he was him up against the wall, and I was sitting there like, please stop, please. He was like, "If you fuck with my son again, I will come up here and beat your ass. And you can call the police on me now. They ain't gonna find me, but I'm gonna find you." He was like, "Don't fuck with my son. Like, leave my son alone. Like, I know he a good student. He made good grades. Leave him alone." And I swear, I had to worry about this teacher no more fucking with me. He did try to send the police to our house, but my stepdad wasn't there. And every time they came, he wasn't there. Get out of here. And I wouldn't say nothing that happened. But I didn't get suspended. Nothing was on camera, no nothing. We went to so after that, now mind you, I had spilled everything. After we leave the school, we go down the street by our house, and he run into Shiz. Do the same exact thing to him. He was like, "Oh, you like bullying people?" Yeah, my stepdad was young at the time. When I was 10, he was he had to be like 21, 22. So I can tell you exactly how old he was. He was young. He was in his early 20s, definitely. Um, yeah, he was 21. Yeah, he was 21. And so he went to Shiz, bullied him, and said, "If you bully my son, I'm gonna bully you." I didn't know this shit was going on. I didn't know this shit was happening. And so now that I know it's happening, I'm gonna make sure you know it. Don't fuck with this one. When we left him, we went to the light skinned boy house that was bullying me at the girl house. And every person that bullied me that day or that week, he went and checked their motherfucking ass. And from that point on in the neighborhood, I didn't have any issues with none of the boys. And it felt so good. And I could just walk the street unbothered without any issues. I only had one friend. His name was Hakeem, and he lived on the same street that I do, but further down, closer to the school. And he had big brothers too, but his big brothers was nice. Um, that's the only friend that I had. So I could, but I would be scared to walk to his house because I'll have to run into. I was gonna run into somebody that was a bully, because their house or their where they be hanging out at is on the way. And so but always that was a moment when he really just looked out for me and made me feel so good. So of course I already liked him, so this made me even more like my stepdad. Then but it we had some ugly moments too. So for example, so at this time in my life I had a diary, and it wasn't one of them diaries that you lock or anything. It was something that I just hid somewhere. So of course my people would find it when they would be when my mom would come and get my sheets, or when my mom would wash my clothes, or anytime they would go in my room they could find my journal. And so he had got into it with my mom. Now mind you, the dude she was with before was very abusive. So I'm older now and don't and have um just have a I have been not trained, but I don't know what the word is, but basically at this age, you not fucking with my mama, period. So, I'm you when I was younger with him, it was different because I was so young. I was like 5, 6 years old when he used to abuse my mama. So I was powerless. But not that I was not powerless at 10, but I had my full brain capacity. I could talk, and I could pick up something and bust your head with it, and if you gonna feel it. We was in a whole different situation. So he had got into it with my mama, and they were like fighting, not like fighting. I never seen him hit my mama. But he would hem her up. He would you know, the old dude would be punching her. My stepdad, he would just my mama would be getting on him and he would push her out the way. He wouldn't just actually boom, but he'll get her off of him. She trying to hit him and he wouldn't hit her back. He just would be pushing her and getting her off. That kind of argument. And so this one incident, um, he was down. I was on the top of the stairs. My mother was facing down the stairs just like I was, but she was further down. My mom was like 5'2". At this time, I'm taller than my mom, a little bit taller, or right at her shoulder, somewhere around there. Um, I think I'm taller than my mom, and so he's further down the steps. So he's arguing with my mama, and my loyalties. I don't care what you did, but my loyalties is gonna be with my mama. So he was arguing with her, and I had took this brick and dropped it on him, like boom. He was over it. He was over that I dropped that brick on him. So our relationship started to shift, not in a super negative way. Um, Einstein didn't kill himself. Okay. All right. Um, but I wrote in my journal about the situation. I wrote in my journal about the situation, and oh, Epstein. Oh boy. Oh, Epstein. Probably not. He probably didn't. He probably no, he could have. He was up against some charges, so he could have. Maybe, maybe not. Who cares? He was a sex trafficking, um, child molesting asshole anyway. So whether he killed himself or got killed, good. Good riddance. Um, so where was I at? So yes, I had wrote in my journal think of a 10-year-old writing in their journal about the incident. And so I was like, oh, I bashed him in his motherfucking face with the I bashed him in his face with the brick, and he better not touch my mama like this. I'm talking all this shit in my journal. But remember, I'm thinking nobody is gonna read my journal. But apparently him and my mama did. So remember, I told you we had a dog named Storm. And so Storm, something was happening where they couldn't afford Storm no more. Oh, okay. I know what was happening. I'm forgetting a big part. So during this process, my mother and my stepdad is becoming addicted to crack. So that's what's going on. But because I'm young, this is between 10 and 12. 10, yeah, 10 and 12. Because I'm young, I don't know anything about drugs. I don't know anything other than, Nancy Reagan saying dare. Don't say no to just say no, or whatever. That shit. This is your brain on drugs with the egg. I don't know the nuances of drugs, so I don't know that they are becoming addicted to crack. And this is the first time they both are becoming addicted to crack. Like they are young, early 20 and mid 20 people becoming addicted to crack because this is 90s. This is the crack midst of the crack epidemic. And so I don't know that that's what's going on because I'm a kid. And same thing with them arguing. Like it just felt like they went from this loving couple just working together to take care of the household to this arguing and fussing couple that was always gone, that was in and out the house and not taking care of what they were supposed to be taking care of. The house would always be clean, and then it went to where it's not always clean. Um, the house always had food because remember we would go to the pantry, um, and then it went to where food was scarce, and it just all these things started to happen. But I wasn't putting it together because I didn't know anything about drugs as a little kid, and so it was something happened where we couldn't afford to keep Storm. And I'm crying because this is our dog. And I'm like, how can we not afford? I can start doing the paper. I can do the paper again just so we won't have to get rid of them. And they were like, no, we're gonna get rid of him. So they took the dog somewhere and dropped him off. They took him somewhere and dropped him off. And he came back. Like he found his way back to the house. And so I was like, look, he found his way back. That means it was meant for him to be here. And so no, they were like, no. So apparently they had took the dog somewhere and he didn't come back. So they had wherever they took him, he didn't come back. And so it was always like I know he will come back as a 10-year-old. I'm thinking I know he will come back if what happened to him, like y'all must have killed him. Like that's what I'm thinking in my head. Y'all must have killed him. Because he would come back like he did the last time. Why would y'all not realizing that all they had to do was take him somewhere super far where he couldn't figure his way back? But um but that's what happened. The dog gone and didn't come back. So I thought they had killed him. So apparently he had read my journal and something the tone was wrong in the house. Something was going on in the house. And and I came in the living room and he had my journal on the side of he was playing the game, he had my journal on the side of the bed. And he was like, this your journal? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, "Oh, I saw what you wrote about me." He was like, "Just know Um, don't go too far with your little threats because you'll end up like Storm. And so that was a threat that was the why he said that was because apparently this didn't really happen, but this is what they said happened. They said that he took the dog and so it wouldn't come back, that he tied it up and threw it in the river. This didn't really happen, but this is what he has said to scare people. And so he was telling me, if you try to do all that shit you said in your journal, don't take it too far because I'll do like I did Storm. And that was a threat. And I was like, and I told my mother was like, don't be saying that motherfucking shit to my son. Da, 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 da," all this kind of stuff. So they're going through this whole bullshit. All of this is so like crazy, wild. Shit starts to happen. It starts to be weird. My uncle ended up coming down and staying with us. But what I didn't know, he was on drugs too. It just started. Our house turned into a motherfucking trap house just within like a year. That's how crazy the drugs started to be. Within a year, it turned from this happy, fun place to a trap house where niggas was coming in. Um, the whole fucking building, because the people downstairs from us, they had two daughters. They had a little baby girl, and like that was like a year or maybe 6 months. Yeah, about 6 months, and then another girl that was like 7, and their parents was on drugs. So the whole fucking building was full of fucking dolphins and neglecting their children. And I was the oldest. So I would have to go downstairs and feed the babies downstairs on the second floor. And I would bring them up or bring them up to our apartment and and feed my little brother because I had my little brother that was after me. And then I had the youngest one, and he was like a year. He was like a year old. And so I had a 6 month old, a year old, a 5 year old, and a 7 year old to look after, while all four of their parents were running the street chasing crack. It was wild. Like thinking back on it, it was wild. But in the moment, I was thinking, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is happening? In the sense of it, I didn't know anything that was going on, but I knew that I had to be loyal to my mother. So going to school, um, I wouldn't tell people what happened because I knew the threat was if I remember I had got a whooping like when I was like 7, and my mother, because when I would get a whooping, I would flip around, and my mother accidentally hit my face, and it put like a wep on my face, and they called CP, and the teacher called CPS on me, on my mom, and so covering smoke from the connection of the damn bathroom. I swear, I went crazy. Yeah. I tell this story. There's an old video that I have called Being the Child of an Addict. I think it's called Being the Child of an Addict. I tell more in-depth stories, so I don't want to go into it. Y'all can go watch that. Um, but basically we go through this whole thing where it just shifts into this ugly ass fucking thing where I'm taking care of a bunch of kids and I'm by myself at like 10 or 11 and going to school, and it just was wild. I was going to the store stealing this place called this little convenience store named Christie's. I don't know. Do they still have Christie's on the East Coast? I don't know, but yeah, they like a seven. I think they turned into 7-Elevens. But they were called Christie's at the time, and I would go to Christie's and steal my ass off. Still, my brother could only drink a certain amount of, not drink a certain type of formula, and I think it was Similac. And so I had to or Nutrimogen. Was it Nutrimogen? Similac, Nutrimogen. It's not Similac. Similac is too normal. Nutrimogen, I think. Not Enfamil. I it, I know that's how you know I have tons of brothers. Not tons. I got two brothers, but I was help raising them because it just was. Those are only three I remember: Enfamil, Similac, and Nutrimogen. And I think Nutrimogen was the most expensive because it was like special. So I think he could only drink that one, and so I had to steal it. Had to steal it, so I always stole that one, and I would go to different Christie's to steal it. And it just was a bunch of crazy shit. But yeah, they were on drugs. And so one of the girl downstairs, her mother was like a church lady mama, and when she came to the apartment, she saw how we was living. She asked me where was my grandmother, and I told her, and she called my grandmother in Indianapolis. And this is before me and my grandmother, we didn't really fuck with each other, but it wasn't a hate because I hadn't transitioned or nothing. We just had a personality clash. Um, and my grandmother came up to Indianapolis and got us. Came up to Indianapolis and took us from my mom. So the CPS wouldn't take us. And so my grandmother went to Boston, drove from Boston all the way back down to Indianapolis with all three of her grandkids. And we stayed with my grandmother for for shit until like 93, for like a year. My grandmother and my granddad for like a year. And so everybody was on drugs, still stayed on drugs and stayed on drugs. But I had this kind of annoying. I was annoyed by my stepdad because I know he introduced my mom to drugs. I know um, this is when Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston was just getting married, and it was, Bobby was being blamed for Whitney's drug addiction. And so this is the same thing that I was thinking about my stepdad with my mom. Even though we find out later that honey Whitney was already doing coke with her brothers. Bobby was just adding, just riding along. She was already coke diva. Crack is whack diva. Um, but yeah, I was thinking like you caused my mom to get on drugs. You caused my mom to get on drugs. And so now, anyway, now anytime that I would have an issue throughout my life that I needed some type of protection, there was like this guilt with my stepdad because of the drug stuff. My stepdad was guilty about the whole situation. And so if there was a there's something that I need, because Indianapolis is small. So if there was something that I need or somebody was bothering me, he was already protective over me. But when that guilt come into the fold, he was even more protective of me because now he's feeling like, damn, I done ruined this girl's life and fucked up her relationship with her kids, all this kind of stuff. And so anytime I had bullies, he would come to the school if I need him to. Anytime that I had when he wasn't chasing crack, he would come and be there for me. And so we still kind of, anytime he saw me, it was like it was rekindled as far as our coolness. Um, Once we weren't in the house together and that him and my mama wasn't arguing, it went back to normal. And so recently, like back in 2012, maybe 2000 and let's say 12, 13, he like about 10, a little bit under 10 years ago, he got his life together. He found a wife. He had a little girl. Because he hadn't had any kids outside of with my mom. But he had another child, which this white girl, Katie, had a daughter, and he just got his life together. So him and my brother rekindled their relationship because he, basically was a deadbeat dad along with my mom, basically, because I had to get custody of my brother. And so because none of them was stepping up to the plate doing anything. And so my brother got married in, well, first of all, he graduated in 2014. And and his dad was the only parent that showed up to the graduation. I showed up. My other brother didn't show up. My mom didn't show up. My aunt didn't show up. And so, no, no, no. My aunt showed up to the graduation. And so, but he was there, and I was so proud of his dad because, I hadn't. He's been running around doing drugs like my mom for shit some decades at this point, because it's 2014, and that happened in '90. So from '90 until this, they all have been on drugs nonstop, going in and out of jail, getting locked up, doing running the streets, being fucking dope fiends. And so me seeing him, and he had got his shit together. He had gained weight. He wasn't fucking skinny as a rail. Po as a rattlesnake, as my grandmother would say. He wasn't Po. And he had came to my brother's graduation. I was so proud of him for showing up and for his son. Fast forward to a couple of years later, my brother got married. Basically, the same exact thing happens. My mother didn't show up. My little brother didn't show up. Like my middle brother didn't show up, but his dad showed up. Like he is really stepping up and trying to be a good father to my brother. And on top of that, he has stepped back into my life as somebody who is an older male figure that I can call and talk to if I need to talk to him. And so now, what he would have been if they had not got on drugs, it's almost like he's turning into that kind of older father figure person that I can call on, that I can talk to if I need somebody to vent to. That kind of energy, that kind of father figure energy. And he has turned into this great, like, kind of ally. And I didn't have to deal with any of the I didn't have to deal with him. I didn't have to deal with any of the homophobic, transphobic stuff, anything like that. Now that I'm older, I learned this because he was trade. um and so he might have had an affinity for me, like he didn't want people bothering me in regards to that. And not affinity like romantic affinity, but like a protectiveness over me. And he he never had to deal with I never had to deal with him misgendering me. Soon as he met me and Diamond was Diamond, got with it. All right, baby girl, you beautiful. All right, baby girl, I get it. I kind of knew it was gonna happen. I didn't know it was gonna go this far, but I you either was gonna be a gay boy or something. I didn't know what was gonna happen. But we knew. Me and your mama, we all knew. Everybody knew. He was like, so, any motherfucker acting like they didn't know, they lying. We knew, but you ain't got to worry about me. You you my daughter now. So it is what it is. So anytime he see me online, or something happens, he'll call and, hit me up. When my mom passed away, he was, right there, just like supporting us and doing and just being there as just somebody who, when you're going through the process of grieving and the process of dealing with somebody's funeral services, you you don't you have to deal with your mother's people. Because you are the person that's dealing with the services. So they're gonna call you and talk to you, and uh, you gotta unpack their stuff. They want to tell you stories about your mom. They want to tell you, you know what I'm saying? It's because they're mourning too. They want to vent to you because they almost feel like you understand them, even though your situation is different. They still feel like you understand the impact of this loss, and so you got to you kind of got to you don't have to, but you kind of got to hold space for them. And that's one thing that I didn't expect when my mom passed away. Like all of her past boyfriends called me and was like really venting, these grown ass men crying, bawling their ass out, like, yo, your mama was my first love. And this all of them. Your mama was my first love. She's the one who was there for me. And that my mother clearly had some good cat box because, honey, these niggas still in love with her. Still, and all of them say shit like, honey, like if my wife now said if Deanna was on her shit and wanted me to come back, I would leave my wife. That's what my that's what my stepdad said. And every one of them, they said, honey, you don't understand. She was so cool and down to earth and just a real ass chick that, you know, only thing that made her not be a good partner was the drugs. And if I'm trying to clean myself up, I can't fuck with her while she's still on drugs because it's gonna make me relapse and get back on drugs. But if she, if she got her shit together and wanted me to come back, I will come right on back. But yes, so my stepfather is my father figure, and he is great and amazing. Damn, I'm glad you got out of that, China. Yeah, China, that sounds extra. I'm glad you're out. Shout out to him. That's a lot. It is. It is. It was a lot. And you know what? When I was younger, I didn't think you don't know what a lot is when you're young. You're just trying to go through it. You don't know what a lot is. Like thinking back on it, it was a lot, but in the moment, I'm just kind of like protecting my mom, protecting my family, and not trying to get caught, like get the CPS called to us because it was the last time it was happened. It was very, very fearful because I didn't want to get taken away from my mom. I was blessed to have Lewis Mitchell step into the role in my life. I love Lewis Mitchell is he's not a father figure in my life. I want to not father figure. He is a big brother. Lewis has been, he has got over addiction. Um, he been ordained as a minister. He is just living a whole different life now, but still keeping it real. And so still hooking up with who he wants to hook up with. And and now he's when I met him, he was kind of more free, but now he's in a relationship with Miss Karen. And he's like a brother. He's like an older brother for me. Lewis is like an older brother. He was when I was gonna work. He just left a job. He just left a job in Seattle, and I actually was supposed to come up there and work with him. I got the offer first, and he was going to he not his the position that he was going to be in, but another position, and we were going to be working at the same place. And we talked the other day, and he was like, you dodge this bullet, child. This is the messy ass fucking company that I ever been with." He ended up leaving it. And he was like, better be glad you didn't bring your ass up here to Seattle. He's twice my age, so more than father. Yeah, definitely. I don't know how old you are, but yeah, if he's twice your age, definitely. Because you in your mid 20s. My relationship with my father is okay, but I think he has a lot of trauma from his childhood that he reluctantly deal with. I think that's why I don't have a strong male relationship. Yeah. My biological father, as I talked about it in the episode on March's Play called Daddy Lessons, the very first episode, I really don't know. What I think he's a narcissist. I think that he is somebody who he just he wants things his way, and if they don't go his way, he shuts down. And so 32, he ain't twice your age, child. He ain't over 50. He's in his 50s. But close. Damn near. But yeah, it's like yeah, it's like he's like a narcissist, and I'm really over him, so I don't really have no interest in building a relationship with him. My stepdad is definitely a narcissist. Unlike my mom stays and looks took his side and God's side. Oh work. He's 60. Yeah. Did he just turn 60? Hmm. Whoa, yeah, he is. Cause he had his order and he was 58 when he did his ordination. And that was like 2 years ago. Yeah, this COVID shit got me way off. He is like 60. He was 58 when he did that code when we did his ordination in Springfield. So yeah, he is. He is like 60. Yeah. Oh, how time flies. You're right. He is. Because he was 58 and when he did his ordination. Yeah, that's wild. I can relate, Brandon. I've noticed the gay boys in healthy relationships usually have dads or male figures in their life. Really? No, ma'am. Usually decent relationship with them. My dad is a narcissist too. I recall damn near having to beg him to spend time with me as a kid. I haven't seen him as an adult since transition. I'm not even sure he knows. Wow. We've gotten really close. We talk nearly every day at work. My dad's not a narc, but he has issues with transitioning from a child to adult relationship to adult relationship with his kids. I don't need to be chastised as an adult. Facts. This is slightly off topic, but my mom had me through artificial insemination while married. They got remarried, so I kind of have three dads, and none of them talk to me. Damn. So you really got to work on chosen family. I think a lot of times we stuck because we're trying to work on the relationship with these people that may be transphobic instead of like choose our chosen family. Like you got to make sure that you being real diligent about building your chosen family. Because even before because I have a couple of male figures in my life that kind of fit that role. Um, I have an older homeboy named Jonah that I love, and he's like a father figure. Um, I have one of my staff members at my group home that I still talk to. His name is Randy. I still talk to Randy. Um, so if I need that kind of older sage like masculine experience, my experience was different. My dad always treated me like I was his most prized possession. Both sides of my family made comments about my sexuality since the time I was a kid, but dad said the fuck love the fuck out of me. That's so good. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. I think that's so good. It looks good. Like it looks so good when you have a dad that's really accepting, and you don't have to go through that shit. When I see it, it's so beautiful. That's why I'm so infatuated with D Wade and Zaya Wade's relationship. Um, because it just looks so good. It's like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. Ah, that's much better. I don't know what's happening, but this little dandelion extract and lemon extract, I won't get this again. It's nasty. Well, not nasty, but that's such a relief. One less bully in your life. Facts. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I wish you wasn't gay so I could have a son, and then I would have two of you. But he didn't say it in a homophobic way, but in a loving way. He laughed. We laughed about it. Yeah, you can still make some things happen, baby. It don't need to that being gay. That don't stop the show. Let's play some cards. Let me shuffle. Most people have gay dads anyway. They just don't know. Not most people have gay dads. That's what's strange about my dad. He's gay. Like he's if not gay, bi. Oh, that's filling your own questions. No, I'm filling my own questions. I still think mom was mad at me for being out. Like they're bullying you because they want to be gay and you have the courage to do it, or want to be trans. Um, I don't know. I heard that same argument when I was growing up. If you talk to somebody else about me, they could say that, oh, I didn't have no home training because I cussed their ass out. You can talk to one person and be like, oh my god, Moochie's kids are so respectful. Like as far as my mom's kids, they're so respectful. You could tell, yeah, she was on drugs, but she raised them right. And then you can talk to a whole other person, and they have a whole other view of me because how my mother raised me, well, us, is older people. You got to understand, my mama comes from a child from childhood trauma, and so age in my mother's mind does not beget respect. You respect people who respect you. That's my mother's moral compass. Basically, if they don't respect you, they don't acknowledge you, they don't see you as respectable, you don't respect them. You don't just get respect because you're older in my mom's eyes. So if I would run across adults who were dismissive, disrespectful, um, anything in the sense of like didn't treat me like a dignified human being. And no, you don't need to treat me like an adult, but you also didn't need to treat me like some dumb, dismissive child. If you treated me with disrespect, I didn't have to respect you. I couldn't cuss at you. I couldn't do stuff like that, but I didn't have to respect you. Being judged by how the kids act. Yeah. Yeah. My mama, I didn't have to, like, I talked about this on another time. I didn't have to say ma'am and sir. And some older people thought that that was disrespectful. But my mother was like, long as you're saying yes and no and speaking articulately, you and answer them articulately, you don't need to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, like you a fucking slave. My mother hated that shit. And so I didn't have to say that. And so if you tried to force me to say that, I could I could say no and be not rude. I couldn't cuss you out, but I could do everything but cuss you out. I could, long as I can articulate myself, I won't get into without cussing. I won't get in trouble for my mom, and I tell her why. I won't get in trouble. So those people, they would be like, no home training, no home training, no home training. But then, the ladies at my church, the ladies like in my apartment complex or anything, they all like me. They like you. Your kids are so well mannered and nice and respectful. So it just depends on who you're talking to. I don't and that all generation got good kids, all generation got bad kids. Well, not bad kids, problematic kids. No children are bad. I love Mexican cookies. You like Mexican cookies? Oh yeah. Let me see. Do do do. Loop de loop. And take it up, baby. I think my mom is a repressed stud and has been trying her best to live as fish And that's why she was homophobic towards me because I represented what she couldn't face about herself. My people were deep into respectability politics when I was growing up. We always had to say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. And it took me years to unlearn that shit. I still slip up sometimes. I don't think it's a problem if I'm doing it by choice. If I'm doing it by choice and not by obligation, I don't mind it. Because sometimes I say it, but it's because I'm choosing to say it. Like when I'm around Miss Majors, when I'm around Miss Earlene Bud out in Maryland, when I'm around Tracy Jada O'Brien, she's been on the show. When I'm around like trans elders that I reverence, that I'm not, I want to say familiar with, but because I'm familiar with them, but it's just a distance between me where I respect, I reverence, I revere them, and so they might get a yes ma'am out of me if we're in a space. But then some people are different. Like I don't know if y'all know Valerie Spencer. She's an elder, but she's like my sister because we're not. I'm younger than her, but I don't know. Our relationship feels like a sister and sister. It doesn't feel like a. I don't revere her as an elder. I know she's an elder, but it's just a difference between her and the other girls. She's more relatable. Is it relatable? I don't know. I can't explain it. But I don't think of her as I don't have the same reverence for her. I think of her as a sister, like a older sister. Same thing with Lewis. I think Lewis as my brother. I don't think of him as an elder. Don't they have one? It's MX. I don't know how to say it, but isn't it MX? They do MR for Mister and MS for Miss, and then MX for non-binary folks. Not swear words. I haven't heard that in so many years. Swear words work. I'm still scared to use swear words around my parents and older family members to this day. So yeah, the respectability politics does have its place. Yeah, I don't I'm respectful in the sense of I'm not gonna be having certain conversations around you. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be cussing and shit. That's rude. I feel like that's rude. Unless they cuss. Like Miss Major cuss like a sailor, so I'll cuss around her. Um, gotcha. Yes, but like Mr. and Miss, not ma'am and sir. Gotcha. I've been thinking about using Meyer. How do you say that? How do you pronounce that? Meyer? Meyer? Of course, from time to time around my parents, it gags them sometimes. I do it to gag them, but I'm I've never cursed at them. Oh baby, I done cursed out my mama. When I get mad, me air. Oh, me ear, me air. Interesting. Hold on. these drawers is digging into my thighs. And honey, I needed to take them off. They were digging into my hips like a meerkat. Gotcha. Mere Washington, Mere Collier, Mere Stewart, Mere Johnson. Okay. Mere Alec Washington. Mere. Okay. I can see that works. That sounds cute. That has a ring to it. Mere. Yeah, I think I've only cussed at my mom twice in my life. Um, Cussed around her, yes. Once I became an adult, yeah. But cussed at her, I think I cussed at her for the first time when I was like 16, and then when she stayed with me recently, like in 2016, child, um, she was doing some stupid ass, shady ass shit, and I had to hurt her little feelings because she thought she was being slick. One of my pet peeves, child, is somebody who thinks that they're playing you and they not playing you, like you know what's going on, but you letting it go, like you're letting it play out to see. Ooh, they think they being slicker than fucking whale shit. They think they're being slick, but they're not being slick. You're just not calling them out on it. Child, she was doing something that she thought she was getting over. And I was like, ma'am, I, I was very rude. I had to apologize after. I, I degraded her. I was very disrespectful. I was like, bitch, you didn't even graduate from 10th grade, sweetie. Sweetie, you didn't graduate from anybody's nothing. Didn't graduate from just grade at all. That's the highest you got. And you think you're about to outwit me, like be slick and get over on me, ma'am. And I just started running a list of stuff that I knew she was doing that I just wouldn't say anything about. And she was gagged. Mm, that makes sense. But she was trying it, like stealing and playing games about money. She was just doing crazy ass shit because she was still on drugs, but playing a lot of games about money. You think you slick, but you can stand another greasing. Yes, I need to start saying that because you really ain't that slick. I don't know. I'm really tender. I don't know. As I get older, I'm really tender about people's choices to parent because they could be more toxic to you being in your life than if they just leave and leave you in the care of somebody else that could care for you. as opposed to if they stayed in your life and they had issues and they could ruin you. I don't know. Sometimes I'm very tender about the choices people make because it might be the best choices for you. And I learned that from my mom because my brother feels like she abandoned him, but she didn't. She just gave him to his dad, and it's not. I'm not trying to invalidate his feelings, but because she was in the midst of her addiction and she knew she didn't have the willpower to get out. She just gave him to his dad. His dad lived in the suburbs in a 3-story house, like luxury. Like, nigga, you lived way better than the rest of us. And she felt like that was the best place for you with your dad. And yes, it doesn't mean that he didn't feel abandoned. Yes. But from her perspective, this was the best I could do. You could have stayed with me, but I would have been leaving you at the house to starve because I was chasing crack. You could have been like the rest of your siblings just trying to figure it out, sleeping in a car, in an abandoned car, like I did. But you didn't have to worry about that because you were staying with your dad in a fire ass house in the suburbs. Because you were the only one who had a dad that was worth the damn. So she thought that was the best decision. And yeah, you could feel abandoned. Yeah, she can apologize and be held accountable for her drug shit. But in the moment, that was the best thing she could have done for you. Mm-mm. It doesn't have to be necessarily about addiction. It don't have to be necessarily about addiction. But the choice that they make to not be in your life could have saved you from bullshit. Not just about addiction. It could have been something else. Just like my grandmother, she didn't want children, but she was a source of trauma for my mother. But if she would have gave her up for adoption instead of trying to play defense, like maybe I want kids, maybe I didn't. She didn't want kids. But she caused my mom a lot of drama with staying in her life when she could have gave her up for adoption and she could have been in a whole different situation. And my grandmother didn't do during this time didn't do any drugs. She didn't do nothing. She was a schoolgirl. Like went to nursing school, became a nurse, all that kind of stuff. But she was real toxic as fuck because she didn't really want children. And this doesn't mean that they're not accountable, but I don't know. Mm, yeah. Let me see. Oh, this is cute. So let's answer some of these questions. Mm. All right. This game is called The Skin Deep Collection. And it's like therapy questions. What are 3 things that you will always remember? Y'all answer the question in the chat. What are 3 things that you will always remember deep in your psyche? Um there is a ooh, I will always remember. I love that YouTube channel. Yeah, I love it too. I ordered it. Ordered the cards. I love them. Um, there's a word for it. Yes, I will always remember um the pleasure of petrichor. Y'all know what petrichor is? Petrichor. The pleasure of petrichor is very comforting. If you don't know what that means, that is the smell of it's the smell of not necessarily after the rain. It's right before the rain. How you know it's a smell because what happens before it rains, before the atmosphere, before it actually rains, the soil knows it, and so however it knows it, the atmosphere, and so it releases this oil in the air from the soil. It releases this oil in the air. So even before it actually the rain actually hits, but you still smell it when it hits. But but yes, but definitely when it happens before it rains, but also when it hits the dry soil. And so the comfort of that smell, I will always remember the comfort of the smell of a first day, a school building on the first day of school. Like when you come into the building after it has been closed for summer or whatever, and you walk in and it smells like a library, it smells like books, it smells like air conditioning, it smells like the janitor's cleaning stuff, and it has been just sitting there circulating because there hasn't been any kids in there. And whatever that smell of like a school building when you first come in on the first day of school, I will always remember that. um Last one, I will always remember the smell of my neighborhood. Like the neighborhood that I live in now, I've been living here for the longest I've lived in any place in my life. Um, yeah, the longest I've lived here. This is the most stable I've been in ever. So I've lived here the longest, about 12 years, 11 years. No, 10. Yeah, 10. So this is the longest I've lived in the one spot. And the smell of my like I can tell um when I go outside, I can literally tell when a new location or a restaurant or something has opened up, like particularly a food place, because it adds a different scent to my neighborhood. And so I can literally tell when a new type of food place has opened up because everything else is constant because they've been there for a long time. I can tell when something new is added. So the smell of my neighborhood, I will never forget. If I move, I will never forget it. It's so unique. All right. Come on, summer in Italy. Singing my first operatic role, seeing my baby on the sonogram. Oh, I bet that was beautiful. Months after I was told I had lost him. Yes, come on. I bet that was beautiful. He was alive and kicking. He said, "Baby, ha, still here. Still here, mother. What's the tea? I thought I was gone. Now I'm back, baby. Don't trust them doctors. Trust the Lord. I was hiding from them niggas. My grandma used to tell me I would come home smelling like school. Yes. Uh, the smell my crush, mutual crush, gave me before never seen him again. The smile. He was one of the guys that defined love for me. Yay. He was letting y'all know he ain't going nowhere. His little bud snored on me. Right, it's snoring on me right now. That is beautiful. Ah. Oh, this is a good question. Now that we are coming out of, still going on COVID, but we're coming out. What have you felt the closest to this year and why? In the past year, so end of 2020 and beginning of this, I have felt the trans community. Yeah, I have really cultivated in the past 2 years. I have really cultivated some really good new friends and um and have spent time pruning old ones, like cutting some off, and then exploring if I could go deeper with some old friends. Like what kind of level of friendship will we have? So yeah, and they're trained. So I have been really I've been getting really close to the trans community, like closer. Not more so than before. My yes, adult relationship with other black women. That too. Yeah. But I think that's been happening. Getting with cis black women, getting in closer relationship with cis black women, that bond has been getting deeper in the past 3 years. Like since 2000, like 17, it's been getting deeper and deeper. Where I'm feeling like, this is turning. Yay. Come on through. Well, we're gonna do it big in 2020. And my grandma. Yay. All right, what else? Oh, this is cool. From y'all perspective, what do you think drives me? That's a good question. For people who are new and for people who have been here, what do you think drives me? Liberation, community, and trans liberation. Advocacy, deep, deep love, really believing in people, joy, and truth. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Creativity and activism. Hmm. All of them are great answers, but I don't think that they drive me. Those are byproducts of me. engaging in that stuff is byproducts of what actually drives me. Your passion for equality, your experience. Hey, Karima, your passion, joy of sharing your perspective. Um, m- what drives me is a little bit. What truly drives me is what is a little bit selfish. Um, it's just my selfishness manifest in a healthy way. So my self love is what drives me. Like honestly, like me loving myself and trying to create a world that's healthy and safe for me is what drives me. I'm just doing things that are healthy instead of doing things that are unhealthy. Does it make sense? Like some people's self-love drives them to be in toxic relationships, be in like chase after money, chase after. I feel in order as a trans person, in order for me to create a world that I'm happy in and I'm comfortable in, even if it's a small little porch corner of the world, I have to share my experience. I have to be in community with the people that I'm a part of. I have to be in community with people who share my vision. And what that has done for me is put me in a bubble of people who care for trans people like I care for trans people. And I care for trans people because I'm trans and I care for myself and I know what's important to trans people. Queer people, and when I say trans people, I mean trans people, but I also mean I'm a queer person, so queer people. I'm a black person, so black people. I'm a woman, so um it's self-love. Not necessarily selfish. It can sound selfish, but self-love, like my self-love and trying to create a world where I can be safe in it. That's what drives me. And that's what all of the stuff that y'all name. I care about that stuff, but I care about it because I want to create a world for myself that's safe and healthy and loving. I want to find I want to create a world where I can find a man who can love me openly out loud. I want to find a world where I can have friends and we travel the world and do different places as trans and not be scared about getting clocked and do these things. I want to create a world that I want to live in that is safe and healthy for me. And by doing that for myself, I know that I can create it for other people. And so that's where the advocacy and stuff like that. Yeah. I think people are in my happiness is revolves around people being in my life. So I have to make sure that they are happy. I have to the world has to be happy for all of us. It can't just be for me. Um Interesting. I don't know. Interesting. I don't know. I don't. This will be an interesting question because y'all don't. I'll just answer. I mean, I'll just ask. Who do y'all think I should go to for mentorship? Who would be a good mentor for me? I get a lot of people coming to me trying for me to be a mentor, but it would be interesting to see who would be a good mentor for me. That y'all from y'all perspective, who anybody in the world, anybody who would you think would be a good mentor for me? Yes, Alexander. that you revere. No, no. I revere them. How do I say this? So I revere them because of how long they have been in the struggle, but I don't think I don't have think I have anything to learn from them. If she was still on the side, I would say Toni Morrison. Fuck yeah, Sherry. Hell yeah, Sherry. That would be a dream. Tony, Tony is my like Tony is one of the celebrities that I don't really get celebrity shocked or like starstruck by celebrities. That's not really they don't really I've met celebrities. They've been in my life, been in my family. Celebrity doesn't shock me. But Toni Morrison, baby, Tony, that would have been her being a mentor would have been oh my god. Um Tanya Gibbs. When do I know that person? My whole life has changed since you came in. Tanya Gibbs. Law Offices of Tanya Gibbs. Is she a lawyer? Angela Davis, maybe. I don't Shirley Ralph. Interesting. That'll be interesting. Tanya Gibbs is in the chat. I was responding to her. Oh. Have you met Angelica Rouse? Do y'all vibe at all? Yes, I've met Angelica multiple times. We are cool. We are cool people. She is that's my sister. She wouldn't be a mentor to me. She would be she's more sisterly. Definitely not a mentor. Not that I can't learn something from her, but too sisterly, too close to my age. We 40. And I've been through a lot more than her based on her story. And that doesn't say that she doesn't have she don't have anything necessarily to teach me, but Shirley walking in a two-piece has me shook. She looked beautiful. Yeah, I like beauty. Beauty don't really move me. I feel like I've been a pretty bitch, so I know what how to use beauty. I feel like I feel like I'm pretty, so I want a bitch who is smart. I want somebody who is smart, who can teach me some skills, like a Warren Buffett. uh, Tony, I just think she has a brilliant mind. Tony has a fucking brilliant, amazing mind. So Toni Morrison, that actually, let me see who said that. Yeah, Sherry, you was on it. That would be my dream mentor. Toni Morrison, my dream mentor. Yeah, Angelica isn't younger than me. We're both 40. Yeah. She just looks younger than me because she's skinny. you know. But yeah, Angelica is yeah, she has been in the military. She was getting bullied in the military. They hung her out of a window. I'm trying to think. Oprah, Oprah, Toni Morrison, Marianne Makaba. I don't know. Marianne Makaba. Trying to think of who else. Oprah, Toni Morrison, Marianne Makaba. Trying to think of any dudes. I don't know. I could see you and the older light skinned lady in Our Mother's Garden doc. I have somebody like that. My ear is like that. And she's older than her. My ear is 70. We did a video, me and my ear. But yeah, I already have somebody witchy like that. My ear is my spiritual leader. I am wondering how queer people are dealing with the therapy push, considering our long oppressive history with psychologists. Dr. Money, I did a video with her, Dr. Money, Dr. Montanique McEachern, and she says all the time that the psychiatric industry owes queer people reparations based on the toxic history with them. I think we're in a different generation, and I think the therapy push is going well for most people. Who else? Yeah, I'm trying to think of. You know who I would like to be friends with? I would like to be friends with Eddie Murphy. Just friends. Yeah, it's something about Eddie Murphy that I would like to be friends with. Like by friends, not silly Eddie Murphy. Who the friends that he be normal with? Like I wouldn't want to be. I don't find Beyonce interesting. I find her to be entertaining as an artist, like her music and her showmanship. I find her to be entertaining, but I don't imagine Beyonce is exciting behind closed doors. She feels boring. She gives me a boring Virgo where that's resting all the time, and she gives all her energy to her work. So when she's at home, she's chill and laid back and kind of. I don't find her interesting at all as far as enticing to enticing personality wise. And do I want to say this? I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't find her personality to be enticing to where I would think that she would be somebody that I would be interested in hanging out with. If I hung out with Beyonce, it's because of Beyonce. She's Beyonce. If I got the opportunity, sure, I'll hang out with Beyonce. But if I'm being honest, my own choice, she wouldn't be on my list of people that I would want to be, I guess friends. Yeah, maybe friends, but she seems boring. Yeah, I can see Eddie Murphy. He has a thoughtful side in some interviews. Yeah, I can tell that Eddie Murphy behind the scenes is a thoughtful guy. Don't want to be friends with Willow Smith at all. She's annoying. Chloe and Haley, don't want to be friends with them. I like them, but don't want to be friends with them. Lizzo, hell, fuck yeah. I know me and Lizzo would be cool as fuck. Like I know if I met Lizzo, we would connect fast. Yes, Eddie. I know Eddie. Eddie, I know I would vibe with Eddie. Not just because I'm a trans woman. Because we know he like yellow bones. No, not as a date, as a friend. Niggas voice. Now how did I get? Now what I gotta do with it? Now how did I ain't even see? I ain't even do nothing. Now how did I get in it? I ain't even do nothing. Not donkey flashbacks. Hmm. Low key, I would want to be friends with Chris Jenner. I feel like Beyonce got troll accounts. There's no way she doesn't. There's no way they don't. Not just her. Just I think celebrity has to have troll accounts because their team is running their regular accounts. I would need something that my team don't have access to. Remember when Jay Z put out 1 plus 1 equals 2? Um, when Beyonce did that behind the scenes, and he was randomly recording her before 1 plus 1 came out, and he had released it on like his burner account or whatever, that little account. Okay. Oh, this is cool. I would rather meet Chris Jenner than any of the kids. She definitely has drive. Yes, I would definitely rather meet Chris Jenner than any of her babies. All right, here's the next question. What is one thing that you really want me to experience? What have you done in your life that you had an amazing time experiencing? What are you eating? I am eating Goya Palmeritas cookies. It's like a sugared shortbread cookie. Oh hell yeah. Ari does seem like she'd be a great time. But I already know Ari. Aria, I knew Ari when she was Courtney Salter. When she was, when none of us was nobody on YouTube. Not close friends, but YouTube buds. But she is a cool person. She is funny as hell. Um, just like Duran and yeah, all expense paid trip to a beach in South Africa for a month. Ooh, that sounds amazing. And I would do that, but they have all the damn post offices closed for like to get passports. So I can't get a passport. And my passport expired in 2017, but I haven't had any plans to go anywhere until recently. And so me trying to get it because of COVID, everything is closed down. Like I wanna go travel. Yeah, I want to be friends with Duran and Ari so bad. I I'm cool with Duran, but I feel like me and Duran would fight if we were closer. Ghana for a month. Ooh. I definitely want to go to South Africa more than Ghana. Being wiped and kissed. Ooh, no. Ugh. Porn hitman. Interesting. He sounds like he's going to be weird. Brace yourself, people. You'd be an interesting mom. I think I would be a great mom, actually. I feel like I would be such a good mom that my kids will grow up spoiled assholes. With no, they would know about the world, but just by me teaching them, not by experiencing it. Mm, all righty. Imagine the look I get when I hand my driver's license to the cops. Having a glucose guardian, no strings. Right. All that. A rich one with unlimited glucose. That's stupid. Interesting. What is the question this is kind of personal. Y'all would have to be personal. What's the question I don't want you to ask? I don't know. I'm pretty open with y'all. I can't think of anything that I wouldn't talk about. Trying to think of yeah, that is actually the blessing of YouTube. because I'm just chilling in my house, just talking to people. I don't feel like any inhibitions. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can do it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else. What's damn. I don't be knowing words. Feel the rain on your skin. The rest is still unwritten. I am unwritten. Outside the lines, I'm undefined. But that's in my head. Standing in a blank place before you, open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the work that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. I think that I be knowing a little bit. No, that's Natasha Bedingfield, unwritten. Um, yeah, you've gotten pretty deep. Yeah, I can't think of anything that I haven't talked to y'all about. Nothing, definitely not nothing sexual, definitely not nothing personal. What's strange about YouTube and being on for so long and talking about it, um, personal things, people think I am more social than I actually am. So when they meet me in person, they think we're about to be besties, and it is very uncomfortable for me. That has happened to me many times when people meet me in person that have followed me online because they know so much about me and I don't know anything about them, and they try to zoom into that space of familiarity. And I'm like, on the inside, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know how to tell you to. No, I don't want to talk to you. I don't know how to be rude. I don't want to. What's that video? Who the Kiki Palmer has a video where she was like, "Oh my god," she was speaking like the white girl, not white girl, but she said, "Oh my god, I feel like I could talk to you all day," and Kiki Palmer responds, "But please don't. I don't know how to set boundaries, so please help you help me." And don't talk to me all day because I don't know how to tell you I don't want to talk or something like that. I'm that person where I'm like, I don't know how to, I don't want to be rude, but I'm open online because it's just me sitting here talking to a camera. And it's almost therapeutic where I don't have to, I'm just telling y'all my true experience. I don't need to lie. I don't need to be ashamed of anything. I'm just telling you. But in person, I'm in your face. And not that I need to lie then, but it's just a whole different experience. It's a whole different experience. When you meet me, I'm personable, but trying to act like we besties, I'm gonna be like, oh, let me give y'all a secret example. This other activist, she's like real popular. She's you know, she's popular too. And when my mom passed, she was telling some of our mutual friends that she was gonna fly down and like be with me through my mourning. And in my mind, I was like, what? Like the idea sounds like the intentions are nice, but only people who could actually do that and it not be weird to me is my brothers. Because that's our mama. But if she would have came down here, my friend talked her out of it. But if she would have came down here and did that, I would have thought that was the weirdest shit. weirdest shit ever. And it would have, but she felt like, but the way she described it was like, I know she's gonna need somebody, um, and she's down there by herself, and her brothers doesn't come, and she's just gonna be dealing with this alone. And I don't think she should deal with this alone. And I was like, mm. I said, I'm so glad that you talked her out of doing that because that would have been awful. Especially in the midst of it, I would have been like, what the fuck are you doing? Like it would have, I probably wouldn't have had the tact that I or control that I normally have to be like, no, I'm all right. No, thank you. I probably would have clicked off because, I was going through the moment. But yeah, that's kind of weird. And I was like, "Ooh, no. I'm glad she didn't do that." That'd been so weird. But but yeah, as far as getting asked a question or somebody asking me something, I'm not ashamed of anything. Like it's very comfortable. I'm very comfortable with. But I am like that kind of in person too. Like I don't have shame like in regards to talking about my experience. My truth is my truth. So I don't have anything that I'm shamed to talk about, like anything. I could talk about anything. But my if you talk to my mom said I've always been like that. I didn't whatever the part of your brain that makes you feel shame, my mother feels like it's broken in me. I feel empathy and compassion, so that's not broken. But whatever makes human beings feel shame, she's always said that that's been broken in me. She said you would. She said when you were a kid, you would fall down, somebody would be laughing, and you would not even be paying attention to people laughing. You would you didn't ever feel shame. I said, I did feel shame, mama. There's been moments where I felt shame. She said, well, you barely showed it. I was like, oh, I was like, child. She was like, it's been multiple times I thought you should have been ashamed and you was not. You didn't give a fuck. Mm, like, no. All righty. What's the next question? What time is it? Okay. What do you always carry with you? So, question to y'all, what do you always carry with you? Um, I always carry something that smells good. So, recently this has been my favorite thing. I made this oil. It's like it's like it's sapphire, not sapphire, safflower. Is that how you say it? Safflower oil? Safflower oil, grapeseed oil, jojoba oil, avocado oil. And then I took that and put some so I get like this right here. Ooh, let me before I spill it, child. I'm very that girl. I am clumsy as hell. Um let me get this over here. So I have been really into like perfume oils. So and a lot of the oils that I get are from like Dubai, like this. So they always have Arabic writing on them, so I can't tell you the name of them. They always have Arabic writing on 'em, but they come in a jar and then they come in this little thing with a little stick on it. It doesn't have a spray, it has a little stick. Can y'all see that? It has like a stick that the oil comes on the stick and then you put it on your body. So I'm really into these, and so I take this oil and um mix it into like this soft oil like jojoba oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil, all that kind of stuff. And and it just smells so good. And it's oil, so it just lasts very, very long, longer than like the more alcohol based spray because it absorbs to the skin and it just smells so good. So, like I know, I can go take a shower and because I don't know why, but when you get done taking a shower, I can still I can um I can still smell it on me because I constantly put it on. It almost like it's a part of my skin. So I am the smell good auntie, baby. I am smell good auntie. If you've met me in person, I give amazing hugs and I smell good. I smell like rich church ladies. Rich youthful church ladies. And I'm usually smelling like something that you've never smelled before because I don't have one scent. First of all, any scent that I love, it's not normal. It's not like you can go buy it at your local department store. Now I have a couple of scents, but even that I'm mixing with other things, with other oils, and it's just fire. Um, yes, but I am smell good, auntie. Everybody always says that I smell so good. I'm not gonna have I'm not gonna have pound cake, but if you come over my house, I'm gonna always have something in you in my refrigerator to heat you up and fill your belly. I'm always got something that I've cooked too much of. And I usually put it in the freezer so it doesn't go bad. So I have like leftovers in there that's frozen so they don't go bad. And I take them out, and you would think that I just cooked it, but I didn't. I cooked it 2 weeks ago. um, yes. So yes, always some oil. Um, I always have my phone. I'm a vegan. Work. Headphones. I always travel with headphones. Um, this little cheap purse right here, this little cheap purse is my favorite purse. Bag lady, you gonna miss your bus. Dragging all them bags like that. Cause it's like a pouch and it just holds your stuff and it looks like I made it, but I didn't make it. These right here used to be attached to the side, but it broke off. So I tied them to the little thing, to the drawstring, so they do all of that. I love it. It is crochet, but it's not this was manufactured. So it's not a natural somebody didn't crochet it, but it looks crocheted. I always carry that bag, unless it doesn't go with my outfit. But that's my everyday, regular day bag. I always have that on my hip. If I'm just walking around doing nothing. Now, if it doesn't, if I'm trying to be fashionable and it doesn't go with my outfit, I don't wear it. So yeah, some oil, um, my purse, and some mace. I always got some little small thing on my keychain, well, my keys, of course. On my keychain, I always have some mace. Yeah, oils. Yeah. If I don't have any oils in my purse, it's because oil in my purse is because I was rushing and switch purses or yeah, I always have some kind of smell good on me, whether it be a roller ball, something to smell good. Cause make smells smells connect to my mood so much. Like if I'm having a bad day, I put a something that smells good and make me smell cozy. It can instantly change my mood. Mace, yes. You just you never know when you gotta somebody. Where I get these oils and scent, yes, fragrance oils. Don't not fragrant perfume oils. Perfume oils. They're a little bit more expensive sometimes. If it's one of those like really, really high qualities, you can get some cheap versions too. But if it's really, really high quality, they can get a little bit pricey, but they last if you store them right, they last so long. And then if you add other oils to it, like this, it stretches them. So like this has like maybe 4 or 5 drops of the perfume oil in it. And because the oil is concentrated, it makes when I put this on, it spreads it out. Mm, it just just smells so good. Um, so it lasts really, really long. Um, yeah. And then you can try things out. A lot of the places that I go to in Dubai, not that I go to that I've never been to Dubai. Um, the places that I go to that I get my oils from in Dubai, the company actually will send you um like a spread of little vial of oils of all their fragrances for like $50, and it'll have every single fragrance oil that they have in it. And it's like a 10 set, like it's like five in the women's oils and five in the men's oils, and it's like $50. But I feel like fragrances don't have a gender, just like clothes. If you like it, bitch, you like it. So if I like it, there's some things that I think um were made for men, but I like it. Like most of Tom Ford's stuff, like Tom Ford's fragrances, they are they're gender neutral. All of his stuff is gender neutral. Um and so there's some things that I think a lot of dudes like, and there's some things that a lot of girls like, but anybody can wear them. And I'm like that with fragrances. If it smells good on me or smell cozy, honey, I'm gonna wear it. Like my favorite Tom Ford is Noir de Noir, Black the Black the Black. I think that's what it means. Noir de Noir. Oh my God, that smells so fire on me. It smells so good. And I was introduced to it by a dude. I had met him at this club called Bamboo, and honey, he asked me to dance with him, and I danced with him, and he smelled like he just made me want to fall into his chest, and it just felt cozy. And so I was like, I love it. That's one of my favorite smells. My favorite, one of my favorite, I got tons of smells that I think I like, but one of my favorites is Discontinued. It's called it's by Givenchy. Givenchy. Givenchy is it's called Indecence. 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 It got discontinued, but you can still find it in some places. And so when I find it in some places, I snatch them all. But it's more like a vanilla, citrus, spicy. It's more like that. So it's more for fall. I usually wear that for fall. It's not fresh enough for spring. You know, I'll wear some fall fragrances for spring, but like Opium. That's one of my favorites because it smells. Oh, I like Opium because it smells like a brick wall of Asian florals and vanilla, and it's Opium is like a brick wall of scents. It's like you come in the room and go back out, motherfuckers gonna know you were there. There's sometimes that I want that kind of scent where that annoys people sometimes, but sometimes I want that kind of scent where you knew I was in the room. Even if and you don't Opium, you don't have to put a lot, just but you know I was here. I smell like a rich auntie. Older auntie. Opium is because it's an older scent. So it's associated with older, but sometimes I like that. I like to know I'm in the room. And Opium is like that, where it's just loud. I used to love Opium. Yes, Opium is a loud. It's loud, but I like that. I like that sometimes. That's one of those fall fragrances that you spray on and you got big wool, oversized scarves and coats and hat and the it's cold outside and you walk past somebody and they're like, "Oh, Moshri." Yes, I love that. I'm always in a movie in my head. I'm always that's the Pisces in me. I'm always in a movie in my head. I'm always, trying to create a moment, trying to create a experience for myself. And so I'm making up narratives as I go along. Degree makes a really nice deodorant scent that I love. Interesting. Yeah, that doesn't sound like it would be anything that I would love. That sounds like it's gonna be something that I'm gonna find at a department store. Let me show you my deodorant sprays. I like to be unique and get stuff that you can't find everywhere. These are also Arabic. JT, good evening, Miss Diamond. Good to see you whenever I get off work. You go live and I'll be your front row teacher. Hey. So I don't know the name of these because they all are in Arabic. So they look like this. Hmm. They smell like a fucking. I don't know what I imagine. What I imagine a mosque smelling like. A mosque in Dubai. It's like some of them are real incensey, so that can get annoying to some people. I like that, but this one, Jesus. Oh, oh, God, this smells so good. Oh, it smells like It smells like sugar cookies, and I don't really like too sweet scents, but this smells like sugar cookies, licorice. I don't like the taste of licorice, but the smell isn't bad. It smells like sugar cookies, licorice, and jasmine. Oh, this smells so. This one is the one. Come on, smell-o-vision. What is it? It's a body spray. It's like a deodorant spray. But I got it from the Arab people. Yeah, this is like a it's like jasmine, cookies, licorice. What else? It's something else. I can't figure out something else, but something else is in there. Like it's like licorice, jasmine, sugar cookies, mm, and like grape Kool Aid. Like you know when you open up a package of grape Kool Aid, that scent that comes out, it's like tart and grapey. That plus the floral jasmine, plus baked cookies, plus licorice. I don't know if that sounds like it smells good, but it smells good to me. Mm. And then we have this one. I like them because they always give you these luxury looking bottles with the thing on it. This one smells good too. And they all got like Arabic name. This one is called um RIIFFS Riffs Perfumes. And this one is called Lady in Red. Oh. Love it, love it, love it. Now I got all this stuff over here. I'm going to put it up later. But yes, they smell so good. Lady in Red. God, that smells so good. Might have some trade over tonight. All right, let me see. All right. That's too personal. What in your relationship are you most grateful for? I'm not in a relationship with y'all. So, let me see what else we got. Oh, describe one experience you wish we'll have in the future. We already said that. Or that was like will. Um, Let me think. So this is a dream question. What could happen in the future? So I want to have. I don't want to tell who they are because then that would be a surprise when I have them. Them Lisa and them White Diamonds commercial, baby. People hate White Diamonds, but I kind of like White Diamonds. Um, I wouldn't wear it because it's too popular. Um, it's like Japanese cherry blossom and a thousand wishes and cucumber melon. I like all of those smells, but they are so popular because of Bath and Body Works. I would never wear them. I would never wear them. So there are interviews that I would love to bring to y'all. So y'all keep, if y'all got an altar, y'all put some stuff on the altar to make sure to say, Diamond, get these in the bag. There are some people that I would love to have on here to interview them. that I think would be amazing. I don't want to tell y'all who it is because then it would ruin the surprise of me having them on. But if I could get these three people on, all three separately, it would be really cool for me. Really, really cool. Um, yes, I think it'd be interesting. So that's what I want to experience with you all in the future. Those three dream interviews for my YouTube channel and my podcast. Those three dream interviews. Same. You will get them. This talk of yeah, you will get them. Yes, I will. I'm not going. There's things that I thought I didn't honestly. If y'all want me to keep it real, I didn't think that I would ever have Madison on the show. Actually, most of the people that you can think that I have contact, that think about all the trans people that you could think of that I would want on the show. That would be like prestigious. I've probably contacted them. If they haven't been on here, it's because either they have ignored me altogether or they have not ignored me and their schedule hasn't permitted it. Um or I already have it recorded. One of those three. I already have it recorded and I'm waiting to decide when I'm gonna put it out. Or they have ignored me or they have just scheduling. Yes, Brandon, if you go to the the info box, it's in the info box. Um all right. What is your this is for all of us. What is your three proudest moments in your life? Three. Three proudest moments. My first one was my brother getting married. He's divorced now, but when he got married, not because I believe in marriage as this crazy institution, but because my brother was at the time marrying somebody who he really loved. Um, it was not because she was pregnant. It was they were marrying each other because they loved each other and believed in marriage at the time. Um, and they and he accomplished, like, I'm really proud of how I raised my brother. Like, he has a 4-year college degree. He he doesn't abuse women. Now he's a whore. He gives his dick out. But he doesn't physically abuse women. Um he didn't cheat on his wife though. But when he was growing up, he was a whore. But that's when you're supposed to be a whore. So proud in that sense. He he has one child um that he had after he had already had his degree and everything. Him and the mama didn't work out, but he's a really great father. Really, really great father. He really his kids, his kid. Um and he makes it the co-parenting thing with his baby mama is so they like she calls me, she sends me messages, we text each other. She's really cool. They have just a really great relationship. And so how he is how he is navigating co-parenting is beautiful. So I'm really proud of my brother. So his wedding and shit was my proudest moment. It was a lot of work to get to that point. Having my designs in New York and Houston Fashion Week, graduating high school, and coming out as trans work. Um, Proudest moments. You know what? When I did two things, these two things for the same reasons, but I'm gonna clump up together because they happen at different times, but the reasoning is for the same. Um in 2020, I was um named one of the Route 100's most influential people in America, and I wasn't nowhere near at top. I was 34, but just being on the list at 34 was out of 100 was quite remarkable. Um, it was a great little experience, and because I was getting it from people, just black people, it was just black people. Like it was a recognition from black folks. And so for me, that felt special. Um, and then the other thing was I did a keynote for BTEC. Um, and it was a moment. Um, it was a moment that was really, really special. It was really, really special. Just a moment I had. This is an organization that I love, that I help steer, and it was about surviving and coming out of this dark place. And it was this time. This the theme of that year was lotus, and lotus grow in like the muddiest places, and then they come out and then they bloom into this beautiful flower. And so the theme was perfect for my life, it's particularly at that time because my life was great at that time. It's great now, but that's when it had really culminated into a really, really great place. And that speech, that speech was, it was not the highlight of my life, but where I was at the time, where I am now, I have never been as happy as I am now. Like, when that happened, it was like 2017, 18. This past couple of years has been really great. So it's been amazing. So that just was a moment, just a cherry on top of that moment. And then last but not least, um, in 2019, we did a live show. Marsha's Plate did a live show in New York City. And I don't know. I was feeling underappreciated. And yeah, I was feeling underappreciated, basically, because some shit had happened here locally in Houston where a lot of people got honored. Like they honored nothing but black trans women of color on a activist on a magazine here. And they honored all the black trans women except for me. And it made me feel like, whoa, like, okay, must not be my turn. But I definitely felt underappreciated. But as soon as that happened, I was swarmed with all these affirmations. Like, Queer Global paid and funded for us to do a live show for World Pride in New York City for World Pride, man. Not just a pride in your local city, World Pride in New York City. Do you know how many people came to our live? It was so fat in there. Like I didn't people that I admired, like I always wanted to create a show. I don't know if y'all I always wanted to do like a round table show with trans folks like Grapevine does. And so I have been watching Grapevine since before they was like popular and hitting like they are now. And the producers and of all the women of the Grapevine, like Uchechi, Ashley Akuna, Aisha, um, where's her name? I can't remember the other girl name. But they had they had came to our first live. Like these is people that I have been seeing on YouTube and seeing and admiring the work that they're putting out as far as their content. And they came to see my little old first live show. It was just like surreal. When they came up the stairs, I was like, it's not just one of them. It's not one of my faves. It was all of my faves on that show. They were coming to sit in the audience and watch our live. I was like, out of all the places they could be, because it was tons of parties going on for Pride, all the places they could be, they chose to come to my live. And that was so affirming for me. So fuck all the shit that was happening back home in Houston. Like this is affirming. This is super affirming. Like the bitches that I care about came to see my live. All my podcast homegirls came. Um, some of my like people that I fuck with on here came. It just was a big ass fucking deal. And just as soon as I thought I was underappreciated, I realized I'm not doing this for like famous shit. I'm doing this for, like I said, I'm trying to create a community for my motherfucking self. And the people who I cared about came to my shit. So, I mean, that's what you asked for, bitch. So it was a huge, proud moment. Then, next day, I go to this event with Raquel Willis, Tracy Africa Norman, and Janet Mock. So I already knew Raquel. Raquel, I met Raquel before she had blew up into what she is now. Beautiful girl. I organized with my husband at the time. Um, the not the black trans, the trans FitCon, the trans fitness bodybuilding competition, all from 2000. And the first year he did it with his first wife. The second year he did it with me, Angel, and the third year me, Angel, and then the fourth year he had sold it to somebody else. Anyway, so during that second year that we did it, or was it the third year? No, it was the third year. Third year, the models didn't some of the models didn't show up. We was doing like a runway show of featuring all black designers of Atlanta. Like well, whoever, like not high end designers, but whoever would let us get some pieces from them to showcase their work. And so two of our models didn't show up. And so Raquel came to the event and Mickey B came to the event. And Raquel, we asked them would they do it, and they was like, "Hell yeah, we get to be on the fashion show." And she wasn't famous or anything like she is now. She wasn't the big writer who was the executive director of Out magazine. She hadn't done any of that yet. She was just a baby girl in college. And so she said, yeah. And I had a beautiful last moment with her. They were so sickening. They were so sickening on stage doing it. They killed it. The fashion show worked. Everything worked, and it was amazing. So I had already met Raquel. That's why she was on the show before. She's been on the channel and shit. I had already met Raquel. Um, I knew Janet in the sense of we've talked to each other about like stuff. She's seen me on YouTube, and she's when she came out, all that stuff that was happening in regards to that. So already seen them, but Tracy, I had never met Janet in person, and I had never met Tracy African Norman. So we went to the New York City Law School, and they had an event there. So I'm sitting there, I'm recording it. I think I put a couple of videos of us recording it, right? And Janet is a celebrity at this point, and Tracy and Raquel at this point. She hasn't she's these are celebrity women, and so trans women. And so by the time we get out of out to the lobby where they are, signing autographs, and there's like a line to talk to them, we all the way at the back of the line, and it gets to the point where now they have to leave to go to their next event. And Janet says, I apologize. I have to go to my next event. I can't I don't have enough time to talk to everybody, and I am so sorry. I apologize. She was really, really nice. And then she gets up, she runs down the line and stops at me and hugs me and says, "Oh, I had to come and talk to Diamond Styles." Wore me out. I was with Lauren Strawstom. What is her name on YouTube? I was with Lauren. So me and Lauren had hooked up for dinner and lunch. So me and Lauren had been hanging out with each other all day. Lauren she's a YouTuber too, been around for years, but she used to be a model. And so she was Stealth, and she just ended up in the past like years or so. She came out a Stealth, but she used to be a model, like a serious model. But she's always been one of my subscribers. And this is Lauren. Yeah, there she go. Ah. Anyway, so Lauren G. Sunstrom. And so me and Lauren finally hooked up because we regular chicks. Well, I think like Lauren is a celebrity too, because she's been like on the runways in Japan, and she's been doing stuff. So I just live for meeting her. And so we in line waiting to meet her, and she runs all the way back and and says, I gotta come meet Diamond Style. So hugged me and then ran and then went back. I was like, what? And me and Lauren was like, what? And so this all happened during Pride. And so while I was getting shaded in my own city, I come to New York and get affirmed. Then because it was Pride and it was so packed as shit, I would go places and people would be there that had been watching me for years, and just giving me, just telling me about how they would let their mom watch a video, like watch videos with my mom, and like my mom talking about her experience with my transness, just whatever whatever they got from my channel. And it just was so fucking affirming. So that World Pride event was a very affirming, um recalibrating of how I was feeling about what was going on in the world of transness and my own personal life. I had to it recalibrated what I valued, because I was seeing a lot of stuff happening around me. People were getting opportunities, um and that kind of can creep into your mind, and it was even opportunities that I didn't want, but I'm like, God, should I have wanted that? Or different shit like that. And so for that stuff to happen, and it just recalibrated what was important to me. And you know, my podcast grew like crazy. It was fire. It was fire, 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 fire. Do, 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 do. I never miss you up Pride. Yeah. But ours was free. Our live was free. You didn't have to buy no tickets. It was free. Did you not live in New York? Our event was free. I be giving free events. Oh. But all right, y'all. I'm about to go watch Angela. Her name is Nari Girl on here. She's been on YouTube for a long time, and she is about to premiere and go live. And so I wanted to chat with her and see what her tea is. So we've been on here for almost 3.5 hours. So arranged I couldn't. Oh, that's okay. That's what's up. So I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a wonderful night. This was good. Y'all have a wonderful night. Yes. Y'all enjoy your night. Make sure y'all get y'all some water. Moisturize. Go order y'all some good smell goods so y'all can smell like a rich auntie. And I will see y'all Friday. All right. Bye bye. Hydrate and moisturize and orgasm. They are the three pillars of joy. Hydrate, moisturize, and orgasm. You don't want to be, you want to hydrate because you don't want to be dry on the inside. You want to moisturize so you don't be crusty and gross on the outside. And you want to nut because you want to center your pleasure. Center your pleasure. So, yes, hydrate, moisturize, and orgasm or nut. All right, y'all. Bye bye.